I think in general, you just described Russian policy in the Balkans, which is to create chaos, to create ethnic and nationalist tensions, and then try to exploit that as a way of weakening the West, making sure these countries don't make it into the European Union or to NATO.
Let me ask you about what is happening in Kosovo, which, of course, is linked to all of this. The US has now announced measures against Kosovo because we've had these rising tensions in the areas which have got a majority Serb population. And we've actually had clashes between police and NATO troops. Kosovo's now been expelled from an ongoing American-led military exercise in Europe. What do you make of what is going on in Kosovo at the moment?
I think what we've had is several years of Serbian nationalism, which is very dangerous and has been the source of several wars in the Balkans over time. We've seen this get a bit more license, if you will. They're acting and doing more destabilizing or influencing other states in the Balkans. We see this in Montenegro with the role of the Serbian church. We see it in Bosnia with the support for the Republika Srpska. And we've seen it in Kosovo with the refusal of Serb communities there, with support from Belgrade, to take part in local elections and to accept that the election results could then result in an ethnic Albanian mayor getting elected. Now, the Kosovo authorities are frustrated that this has been happening, that no one has been standing up for Serbia for Albanian and Kosovar needs over time. So they're frustrated. And as a result of that, I think they engaged in this activity of trying to install the mayors and using police forces, and that leading to riots. Ill-considered, should not have done it. Very frustrating to the U.S. and the West because we're the main benefactors of Kosovo. We provide the economic and financial assistance and the military support. The KFOR role is still important. And so it's very frustrating that they're doing this against or without consultation and really against the wishes of the West. So that's why you have the harsh reaction that we have. But I think we also need to recognize that there's a reason why this happened. It has a longer history than just this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it is a complicated situation. And for people listening who are not familiar with what's going on, Kosovo has declared independence from Serbia. That has been recognized by many Western nations. But Kosovo has within it a Serb population. Do you think Russia is using the tensions here and trying to further stir up the trouble that there is in Kosovo so that NATO has had to send in more peacekeeping troops?
Well, I think in general, you just described Russian policy in the Balkans, which is to create chaos, to create ethnic and nationalist tensions, and then try to exploit that as a way of weakening the West, making sure these countries don't make it into the European Union or to NATO. So that's what Russia's doing all the time. Now, in a particular case here, I think as a result of the tensions in the region over a long time, this has grown to this. I'm not sure that you could point specifically to Russia for instigating anything right now. But I think it has happened as a result of Russia's longstanding approaches.
Is this trouble going on in Kosovo going to cause further long-term damage to relations between the United States and Kosovo, do you think?
I don't think so. I think this is it's a blip. I don't think that it is something that's going to persist. So I'm optimistic that it's not going to lead to that kind of long-term damage. But again, we'll see. We'll see.
Just finally, NATO has been pretty unified until now in its approach towards the wider conflict, the more serious conflict between Ukraine and Russia. As this war drags on and as we see what is expected to be a renewed counteroffensive by Ukraine. And clearly that will very likely lead to more loss of life. Are you confident that the unity, broadly speaking, that there has been within NATO will hold?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think one of the effects of Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year was to dramatically strengthen the unity within NATO. I think European countries, Canada, the United States, everyone has realized that there are much greater dangers here than we had really counted on. And as a result, NATO is pulling together. It's doing more on collective defense. It is recognizing more and more the dangers in the Balkans. It is helping Ukraine substantially. So I do think that NATO unity is going to hold.